Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. On today's show, we're going to go through some top 5 Julius Randle trade destinations because Ia Begley, in a mailbag on SNY, was asked about what are the chances that Julius Randle could be traded prior to the season, and Begley said there is a 40% chance that it happens. I'm going to be honest, that's a lot higher than I would have thought of. If you would have asked me, I probably would have said 20 to 15% chance because I believe if a trade was on the table, they would have already made the trade. But when Begley speaks, Knicks fans listen. He's the best beat reporter in the game, and when he says it, we got to believe it. He said there is a 40% chance that the Knicks trade Julius Randle prior to the season. So for that, I want to go to the top 5 destinations that I think make sense for a Julius Randle trade. We'll do that in a second, and me and Seeps will go back and forth on what we think actually makes a little bit of sense. But I want to ask you guys first, will Randle be a Knick come game 1? When game 1 is here on October 19th versus the Memphis Grizzlies, will Julius Randle be a Knick? Predict it for me. Type Y for yes, or you can go down in the comment section and type N for no. The top Julius Randle trade destination, in my opinion, is the Charlotte Hornets because they need a power forward. Falling out from the Bridges situation, they don't have a power forward on the roster that I feel like is even close to the player that Julius Randle is. And I honestly feel like LaMelo Ball needs a guy that can attack the rim and be a force inside the paint. And I think Julius Randle kind of fits that need a little bit. You lose Bridges, who was a player that was going up and getting better every single year. He did the dumb shit that he did, the unacceptable stuff. Probably should never be allowed to play in the NBA again. But they now have a need at the power forward spot. Seeps, what do you think about the idea of trading Randle to the Hornets? There's been some talks about a potential Gordon Hayward swap for Julius Randle swap. They both have about $30 million on their contract. What do you think about that?
I was actually just going to bring up the Gordon Hayward thing. I think that's because the contracts would match up pretty well.
Yeah.
But also the Hornets, I mean, like you were saying, if you have LaMelo Ball, you got to give him somebody to play with. And they thought it was Miles Bridges, and then you said he did the dumb shit he did.
Yeah.
But I think, even though Julius Randle, his stock went down last year, if you could team him up with LaMelo Ball, you can play in for that play-in tournament in the East, but the way the Hornets roster is right now, they're probably not sniffing the play-in tournament.
Because Montrezl Harrell is no longer there,
Yep.
and they need a power forward, and it would be a nice little two-man game because we've looked at the stats on this show plenty times before of Julius Randle with Derrick Rose compared to without Derrick Rose. Julius Randle is a better basketball player when he has a point guard, quite frankly, that can be an orchestrator, and there's not many in the NBA better than a guy like LaMelo Ball. If a trade with the Hornets were to happen, expect it to be Gordon Hayward coming back in return. I'll ask you guys, who would you rather have on the Knicks? Type GH for Gordon Hayward or JR for Julius Randle. I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. Another team that's been linked to Julius Randle and recently was the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
And there's been some rumors about Jay Crowder and Dario Saric and maybe a guy like Landry Shamet, and it all makes sense to me. But my question would be, is a team that feels like they're on the cusp of competing for an NBA title really value bringing in a guy like Julius Randle? But also, Seeps, the way I look at it is, if there's anybody that can get the most out of Julius Randle, it's Chris Paul.
That's a great point. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't think he fits in the Suns' culture well enough just because they got those young guys, Cam Johnson, McCall Bridges. They kind of like the wing 3-and-D guys a lot. But like you were saying, Chris Paul, he is the one guy that could get the most out of Julius Randle. Marsh touched on it a little bit, but Julius Randle's numbers compared with D. Rose on the floor, compared to him off the floor, he's a completely different player. So I think, Suns, probably the more unlikely team on this list, but I definitely think it's a team that you could keep your eye on just because, they're trying to win a championship. This could be a move that they think could put them over the top.
Yes, Sports Illustrated put out an article talking about this last week, and their trade idea was Landry Shamet, Dario Saric, Torrey Craig, a top 20 first-round pick that's protected in 2023, a 2025 first-round pick swap or a 2024 second-round pick.
Wow.
So Shamet, Saric, Torrey Craig, a first-round pick that's top 20 protected in 2023, and essentially a second-round pick. If you would make that trade, let me know. Type A for accept, type D for decline. I don't know necessarily if I would make that trade. I still am holding out hope, Seeps, that Randle can get back to being a good player with a point guard like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that would be almost kind of selling out early on Randle.
That's dumping him.
That would be dumping him. Because, listen, Shamet, great player. With the amount of guards the Knicks have, he's not going to get – I don't know. He's not going to be as valuable as he would be.
You're not like the best player you're getting in the deal is Shamet or Dario Saric. I know you're getting a 2023 first-round pick, but it's top 20 protected.
Yes.
All first-round picks aren't created equal. All Knicks fans should know that at this point. But there's rumors surrounding Randle and the Suns, so we're going to talk about it on this show. I'll ask you this question. Those are probably the top two teams that I think are most likely that would make a trade for Julius Randle. But I'll ask you, what is your number one Julius Randle trade destination? If you had to think of any team in the NBA, who would it be your number one spot for a Julius Randle trade destination? What about the team that drafted him into the NBA, the LA Lakers? We've heard time and time again that the New York Knicks have called and have interest potentially in a trade for Russell Westbrook, getting that 1-year, $47 million deal. What if you could make a trade of, let's say, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish for Russell Westbrook, a guy you're going to buy out and get cap space for $47 million, and an unprotected first-round pick that would be in 2027, which is deemed by a lot of executives in the NBA as a very valuable pick because in 2027, AD is going to be gone and LeBron James is going to be gone. It's definitely an interesting idea because you're not really getting a good player back, but it opens you up and I think sets you up in the future a little bit better. You get a first-round pick and you get off of Randle and Fournier's deal. All you got to do is throw in Reddish to sweeten up the pot a little bit. What do you think about
See, this is the trade that I think is actually probably best for the Knicks. I mean, that 2027 first-round pick for the Lakers, if you get that unprotected, yes, bringing in Westbrook, I'm assuming the Knicks would probably buy him out. But, hey, getting your hands on that 2027 first-round pick, also getting Randle out of there, you give more minutes to Toppin and Mitchell Robinson. I think that would be the trade out of these first three I would probably take. I don't know if the Lakers would, but
I think they would want Cam Reddish. There's been a lot of rumors and ties that they are interested in Cam Reddish. There was the rumor that came out that a deal almost happened at the trade deadline. So if you could get Randle, Fournier, who would be a great player to play alongside LeBron James, in my opinion, because he's a catch-and-shoot guy. You need shooters around LeBron. And you get a 6'8 wing in Reddish who could get big minutes for the Lakers.
Seriously.
I think it makes sense for both sides, but
would you toss in Cam Reddish to get that done? I think I would from the Knicks side.
I honestly think I would. I like Cam Reddish, and we'll talk about him later in the show, but getting off of Randle's $30 million and Evan Fournier's $18 million to have $47 million to spend in free agency in 2023, that's a good way to reset your roster and your cap space. And you get a valuable pick in the first round in the coming years. Definitely a team that I know and have heard have some interest in Julius Randle. Look, if a Julius Randle trade happens today, tomorrow, next week, or if any move happens surrounding the New York Knicks, we are going to break it down on this channel, youtube.com/KnicksTV. We're a news and rumors channel, so when news comes out, we talk about it. When there's rumors out in the ether about the New York Knicks, we talk about it and we give you our take on them. We put out videos every single day and we go live once a week. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube that does nothing but cover the New York Knicks, hit that big red button and let's ride. We were talking about this team as an option in the studios earlier before the show, Seeps. The Atlanta Hawks. There's been a lot of rumors around John Collins as a potential guy that could be traded out of Atlanta. Going back to last year, there was rumors that John Collins and Trae Young really didn't get along on the court or off of the court. So it would be a swap straight up most likely, maybe a pick on another side or whatever you have to do to logistically make the trade happen. But it would be pretty much John Collins for Julius Randle. And I honestly think Randle fits better on the Hawks, and I think Collins fits better on the Knicks. Seeps, give me your take on this.
See, that from on paper, I think that's a great trade for the Knicks. I understand the John Collins rumors, but if you just talk about that swap, giving Randle, we talked about it, his numbers with true point guards, giving him Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, and we already know John Collins, there's some tension between him and just the front office and everything. I think John Collins would be a great fit in New York. That lob threat for Jalen Brunson, also a pick and pop threat. I think John Collins, modern day NBA, pretty prototypical 4.
And I feel like he could play a little bit of small ball 5 from time to time.
Easy.
Like you could have a John Collins and Obi Toppin 4-5 lineup that fits way better than a Randle and Obi Toppin lineup because Randle can't really protect the rim. Obi's not really a rim protector. He's got length, but I think Randle fits better in Atlanta than John Collins because we have heard, and that's why they made the trade for DeJounte Murray, because they want to see Trae Young move more off the ball and be more of a catch-and-shoot guy. Randle is somewhat of a decent playmaker. He's a guy that's averaged more than 5 assists on 6 assists. A lot of times in his career, he could be a half-court playmaker and let, when DeJounte Murray come out, more off-ball, motion for a guy like Trae Young.
I would also say the John Collins-Mitchell Robinson combo at the 4-5.
That's a lot of length.
Your offense, it would still be an open floor 4 out, 1 in, Mitchell Robinson in the dunker spot. But then you could also have John Collins out and that catch and shoot 3. He still has that. So I think this is another one that I think the Knicks would benefit the most.
It would be wild if the Knicks and the Hawks made a trade, but I truly think that trade could benefit both sides. I'll ask you, who is the better basketball player right now? Type JR for Julius Randle or JC for John Collins. I want to take the pulse of all the Knicks fans out there. Who's the better player right now? JR for Julius or JC for John Collins? And this last team on the list, the Sacramento Kings. There was rumors back at the trade deadline that the Sacramento Kings were interested in Julius Randle. And look, it's the frickin' Sacramento Kings. The Kings are going to be the Kings. If there's a team dumb enough out there to trade for Julius Randle after they already made a move for a big like they did Sabonis when they made the trade with the Indiana Pacers, it would be the Kings. I'm not sure what you would get back. Maybe you try to get a guy back like Harrison Barnes in the deal.
That'd be a good pickup.
Maybe a Barnes for Julius Randle, straight up swap, and your starting lineup becomes Brunson at the 1, RJ at the 2, Harrison Barnes at the 3, Obi Toppin at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. I think that stylistically fits a little bit better, and that means more minutes for a guy like Obi Toppin. A lot of Knicks fans really just want to trade Randle so Obi could get more minutes. And look, I want to see Obi play more, but Randle is a better basketball player than Toppin right now. There's really no other way I can slice it. But I do think going forward, if you're able to move Randle, it opens up more minutes for guys like Toppin, Reddish, Mitchell Robinson. You get to see more Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't know. I think Harrison Barnes would be a cool fit on this team.
And I think the main reason we put the Kings on this is the Kings have been so irrelevant for so many years. Who knows? They might want to overpay for a guy like Randle, put some more people in the seats. You got Keegan Murray in the draft. Give him kind of a 4 or 5 to play with.
Yeah.
I could see the Kings doing this.
I think all of these teams make sense. If I had to power rank them, this is kind of my order, I think. I think the Hornets make the most sense. They need a power forward. There's actually been rumors about the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers have been tied. I think the Hawks, it makes them a better team. And I think the Kings are the Kings. Seeps, out of these teams, what do you think is the most likely Randle destination?
For some reason, I'm thinking the Lakers really want to move off Russ.
Yeah.
And I think this may be the avenue they choose. If my gut's telling me Lakers right now, best fit, I agree with you, the Hornets. But I could see with the Lakers,
they have to make something shake.
They have to. They brought in Patrick Beverley and Dennis Schroeder.
Schroeder, yeah.
So they have 2 guards already behind Russ. I don't know.
It would be pretty damn funny if Julius Randle went back to the Lakers. Look, I think anything can happen. Ia Begley said there's a 40% chance that a Julius Randle trade happens before the season. That's why we're breaking it down on today's show. I appreciate everybody making New York Knicks Now a part of their day today. If you made it this far in the video, drop a real one in the comments section and let me know your number 1 Julius Randle trade destination in the comments right now.